Stephen's success yesterday finds Winton now just in front of the scoreboard that sees Glenelg 3-12, trailing Norwood 5-6. 15 scoring shots to 11. The Bay's behind, though, by a goal. Now Winton a long way out.
Going to take the perfect kick.
The breeze at his back. Not a bad-looking kick, but not quite. No, not quite. Gave it everything. Glenelg 3-13. Reminiscent of Port Adelaide last week.
Winton, a busy player, lots of touches, but just lacking this little bit of finesse in his skills to finish off the job.
4 points this term to Glenelg so far. Hellier goes straight downfield looking for Fosdyke. Carey sets. Fosdyke had the front spot. It's worked back to Alan Stringer. Got it through to Carey. Wide is still McDermott. Short pass. Hewitt. And Glenelg doing everything precisely.
And showing the confidence to persist in a style that has won for them in the past.
Mark Hewitt is directly in front of goal, only 45 metres out. He's got the accuracy, also the distance, and his first goal puts Glenelg in front for the first time of the game at the 9.5-minute mark, third term.
Control of the ball, Carey high, almost the grab. Winton, back to Alan Stringer, who slipped, strength forward. Out to McDermott, who set it up for Mark Hewitt. And that's 4 goals to 1 to Norwood in the first, and since that time, 4-1 to Glenelg.
Sid doing everything to lift the Redlegs. Maynard got it down only as far as Marshall. Now Peter Maynard boots the Tigers forward. Alan Stringer the chance. Oh, did it brilliantly, but then caught by Warhurst. Stringer calling for the free, but it's play on as Kernahan goes long. It's an open goal square. Hellier's back there. Woodland! What an explosive attacking sortie that was by the Tigers. A beauty when they're out by 7 points.
Rowan Hellier, oh so close to saving that goal. Craig Woodland's at the back of the pack, read it best. And David Kernahan, Alan Stringer lift the Bays.
Stringer getting vital touches at centre-half forward. Brendan Maynard in ruck for Norwood. Carey's tap away. McDermott sends it wide to Kernahan. They're on the march. This time held up by Warhurst. He puts it long, not a well-directed kick. Should go to Wayne Stringer, stood his ground well. Kernahan, around McNeil, drives into the centre-half forward spot. Brendan Maynard sits and takes the ball. At centre-half back, will get the help of a 15-metre penalty. Drives it wide, looking for Ducker, but he's well downfield with no help. Murdoch running hard, but can't make it. Hooked around nicely. Rowe trying to get the run of the ball. Gets past Carey, who got the hand to it. Stopped it. Rowe looking for the free kick. Not on. Fosdyke goes, and finally it's paid to Rowe. He's got no one to kick to. Drives in looking for Hall. It's well dispatched, but the big fella couldn't get down. McDermott really lifted this quarter. Wayne Stringer off the half-back line. Past the centre circle. Plenty of time to look. Drives long. Direct to the square. Hellier and Seaman! The mark of the year! Absolute beauty! Put out the big 5 fingers and it stuck like glue.
Wayne Stringer placed the ball to space. Hellier was held by Seabone's body. The magic take.
2 goals to Seabone so far as Tanner limps to the interchange bench. Seabone puts his third on the board, and that's the third this quarter for Glenelg. Vital goals, 12.5-minute mark, they're 13 points clear.
You can feel the crowd lift as Wayne Stringer came down through the midfield. Plenty of time, several bounces. 1 out was Seabone against Hellier. And what control.
And if that passage of play doesn't lift the Bays, nothing will. A sensational one by Wayne Stringer. And while that was happening, Wayne Tanner was down on the outer side. Now he's off with a leg injury. So Carey in there. The Bays have lifted. They're out now by 13 points and they go forward again. Held up by Maynard. No, through goes Stringer. Down goes Murdoch. What an inspirational 5-minute spell of football this is by Glenelg. 3 good goals coming at the 9.5, 10.5 and 12.5 minutes. They're at centre half forward now. Carey knocks them forward again. The hand pass slipped out. Kick forward from McNeil, the half forward. The Redlegs need a couple of quick goals. Connolly, who's come on, slips it out to Ducker. Long towards Hall. Has it cleared the pack? Not quite. Hit the post. And Connolly down and apparently in trouble, real trouble at centre half forward.
He's obviously really in trouble with his breathing.
Meanwhile, it's Hewitt, Glenelg, through half forward. Warhurst the one-hander. So Norwood not with numbers now. Drive up looking for Ducker at the back at Salisbury, out of his reach. Bostock's got through. Tackle from behind and the free kick goes to Hewitt. Lack of talking by Norwood. Stringer, there's a stretcher case for Connolly, who is in awful trouble behind play. Murphy's kick deep to the pocket and a big spoil over the top by Rowan Hellier. The throw in 40 metres from the behind post.
And Stephen Connolly on the ground for less than 30 seconds is down and out, well attended. The game will stop whilst the stretcher takes Stephen Connolly from the field.
He crashed pretty heavily and he did seem to have trouble with his breathing. It makes you wonder if perhaps he's damaged some ribs coming down, because he was really puffing and panting pretty badly. Now, number 33, Tanner, came off just a moment ago to allow Connolly to go on, and he came off limping, so he had a few problems. It looks like Claby will perhaps get his first run. He's doing the stretching exercises as Connolly is stretched off. So that really is a body blow for not only Stephen Connolly, but the Redlegs, with effectively 2 injured players.
And Glenelg's run stopped by an accident. Norwood attempting to fight back, but the impetus, the momentum that Glenelg had may or may not be maintained.
Stephen Connolly, and he looks to be in quite a deal of pain. Yeah. Ribs, logical thing, but he certainly looked to be concussed as well. I'd suggest there was no movement. But the game about to restart. Right forward pocket for Glenelg. Maynard getting a hand to ball. McDermott, possession, stolen by McIntosh. Not quite. Marshall did likewise. Woodlands. So the ball beginning to fall right for Glenelg. A lucky kicks around the corner, a lobbing on the chest. Craig Woodlands within distance. Known as a goal kicker of renown, and that one looks good. That's number 2 in the quarter. So Glenelg, with their 4th goal so far this term, break to an 18-point lead.
4 goals within 7 minutes, and Glenelg well ahead. A lot of enthusiasm shown. Have been attacking off that half-back line, kicking to position. And Marshall's lucky snap to the centre found his half-forward flanker.
Not an inch given in the first half. It was tight football, it was tough football. But the Tigers now with that all-important run on as they go forward again. Through went Warhurst for the Redlegs. Down goes Murphy. Over the top McIntosh. Murphy was pushed. He wants to send them forward again. There's plenty of run, plenty of momentum, and Woodlands, who's kicked 2 in this big spell, takes it a half forward. Wasn't a good pass. He's put it out in front of Maynard. He goes over the top. Danger. The tackle applied by Brendan Maynard. And that's holding the ball going against Kidney. Graham Cornes, he's got plenty of frowns there, but I think he'd be pretty happy with the way things have gone in the last 10 minutes. Murphy! Oh, this game has come alive, or at least the Bays have come alive. A beauty, one-hander. Balme and Carey. Carey says, off you go, on your horse. 15-metre penalty. Takes him down to between wing and right half forward. Too far out to score for the centre half back. Goes out in towards Seabohm, who's in the middle of three red legs. Grenville to Carey. Long. Won't have the distance. Back there. Red leg mark taken by Hellier. In fact, it's Rodney Maynard right in the square.
Looking to play on quickly, finds brother Brenton in the back pocket. Comes up to the half-back line, kicks long, centre wing. Across was McDonough, hands Marshall, the ball beginning to bounce for Glenelg. McDermott playing a boomer quarter, drives deep, Kidney sets, Scanlon spoiled to mark to Kidney.
Stood his ground courageously. McDermott, the ball to space. Scanlon should have fisted on line, went for the swipe, and timing was important.
Robert Kidney kicks his first goal at the 19.5-minute mark, and Glenelg have opened up a big break with 24 points.
5 goals to 0. David Marshall fired it off to Chris McDermott. Plenty of time to lift the eyes, place the ball to space. Kidney sat in the squat. Scanlon across the face with that arm. Little risk of hitting the ball.
61 plays 37. Still only at the 20-minute mark of the third term, but in this big crowd of Tiger fans, I think, can sense another grand final. Warhurst trying to lift the Redlegs. They trail by 4, but not out of it yet by any means. Maynard, Richardson, the loose ball. Got the hand pass away. Balme forced to stretch, but taken by Alan Stringer. High, right across ground. Osdine. Little chip towards McIntosh on the wing. Can keep going and does. Oh, has to get around Kidney. Goes close to the boundary line. Payne's the target, but a little bit wide. Yep, bit of relief shown there. Wow, we needed that last 10 minutes. In there, Carey and Balme again. Carey wins it only as far as Richardson goes around the corner. Aish had the road interrupted though. Through goes Murphy into a pack. Spills back to Cruz. Richardson, another opportunity. Needs a good bounce, couldn't get one. And Salisbury towards the wing. Alan Stringer's back there. Warhurst got up high. John Hall met heavily by Stringer. Winton runs straight into umpire Thorpe, but finds Hall. Oh, now that was well done by Jeff Winton. He ran straight into the man in white. Must have put him off, but he disposed of it beautifully.
But the play was won by Alan Stringer's courage in fronting up the largest man on the field in John Hall.
Straight in front is Tony Hall. Has kicked one. And he starts to hammer away. Now it's the Tigers out by 5 goals.
The fire of the Bays. Mark Hewitt, one possession on the half-back line. Scotty Salisbury. And now watch Alan Stringer as he fronts John Hall. Front on. The little man won. The play was set up by Winton to Tony Hall. And the Bays have kicked 6.
6 goals for, in fact, to 1 point by Norwood at the 22-minute mark of this third term. Hall back in ruck. Glenelg have been getting the ball out of the centre with repeated monotony. Wide it goes. McNeil leads Kernahan. Wants some help. Set up Maynard. He wants help. Stolen by McDermott, not quite. Maynard, Hall, Warhurst, Richardson. Should go to Fosdyke. He does. From centre wing. Having a look. Driving wide, looking for Ace back there. All Glenelg, and West takes the mark. Jim West. Glenelg have lifted. Confidence sky high. Marshall sets. Richardson. Well done, Fosdyke. Back to McIntosh. Crossfield, he's got Rowe loose. He should take off. There's a Glenelg defender coming. Rowe settles. Long, direct, online. Stephen Rowe, goal number 3. And perhaps that's what Norwood needed to get back in this game. They trailed by 24 points.
McIntosh, the player, found Rowe midfield. How did the rover get clear? But Dermott came from metres. Rowe on line. Redleg's first goal since the 22-minute mark of the second quarter. But let's not underestimate the Redlegs.
No, they trail by 4 goals, but there's a long way to go in this football match. And they will have the use of the breeze in the last quarter. Through goes Winton. Mid-air shot from Marshall. Kernahan leading the race on centre wing. McNeil, though, got the good bounce. Goes up towards half forward. Salisbury goes down. Rowe, the loose ball again. He can run at it. Decides to go to Balme. Balme settles. Pops at them. Not quite. Across the face. Minor score, Redlegs, but importantly, they're getting the ball onto their forward line over the last couple of minutes.
The blistering pace of McNeil, the run of Rowe, setting up the chance.
A high screw punt kick from Cruz. Working at the back. Murphy, been a big defender. Floats one into the centre-half back spot. Wyndham Ducker, trying to get clear, works it off. Straight to Clavey. He steadies. The kick's online. Brenton Clavey, goal number 1. Number 7 for Glenelg for Norwood. And they trail by 17 points.
What a quarter of football. James West could not take Mark Ducker the pace. Just got it clear. The overlap from Brenton Clavey. Online, direct. And Norwood back with 2.
Neil Balme must be just a little bit happier, but David Kernahan not so happy. He's just gone off for the bays, replaced by Donovan. Hall got it down. Marshall trying to pick it up, but Rowe breaks away again. Some important touches for him. The bounce is good. Open goal for Ducker. Oh, those Redlegs. 3 goals in 2.5 minutes as Ducker gets his 3rd, and the margin's back to 11 points.
8 goals only in the first half, and suddenly we have had 9. The ball favoured Ducker. Norwood's chance to have a little bit of luck. And the forward inside his opponent with ease.
11 points separating the sides. Glenelg hitting the front for the first time at the 9.5-minute mark of this quarter. Were riding high. Ball's tap away again. Balme trying to work through. Forcing it, stolen by Hewitt. Dribbles it back, only as far as McIntosh. Oh, straight to Big Carey. Well smothered Payne. Balme trying to work through. Stolen Marshall. Clever play. Wyndham the kick. And Glenelg forward once more. Back there, Scanlon. Oh! Scanlon's front, Rowe's front man. Scanlon it is, but it's Maynard's mark.
Dropping back, held position well, read it first. And what a game.
Clear mark overhead to Peter Maynard. He's goalless at this stage, but certainly able to do something from this position. The distance shouldn't worry him. He's virtually straight in front and he's hooked the kick and won't make the distance. Forcing the ball forward, it bounce beats Kidney. Fosdyke there, over the top, Warhurst. A big kick to the centre wing area, Grenville and Aish. The bounce beating Grenville. He's got the help of Hewitt, but the white line's the winner. Throw in, interchange gate, centre wing, and Cornes looking at the scoreboard, sitting on an 11-point lead.
The Tigers have kicked 6 goals to 3 in this quarter. What a great quarter of Australian football it's been. 9 points down the base at half-time, now up by 11 after leading by 5 goals just 5 minutes ago. McNeil, in fact it's Ross, in centre wing. The half forward, going back there's Murphy, coming out to meet him though. Brilliantly done, Brenton Maynard. He turned on the threatening bit. Good attacking defensive work by West. Still the chance for McNeil, had to break away from Donovan. Loose ball on centre wing, off the ground's the best bet. Rodney Maynard, Hall in pursuit. He goes by hand to McNeil, a fumble. but he got the hand pass away. Press it, and it went across the line.
Unbelievable intensity. 3 sockers to cover the ball and take it wide. McDermott, the worker.
Great game. 28-minute mark. The concern of Balme. Norwood into attack. Donovan the tackle. And another bounce inside half forward for Norwood.
Tight first half. Only 8 goals and suddenly the game is afire.
Concern the physiotherapist called by Balme, no doubt checking on Tanner. Carey's tap away. Glenelg almost out. McIntosh with force. Richardson's kick. Deep to the pocket. Brendan Maynard looking for help. Back in field he goes, looking for Ducker. Brilliant smother Salisbury. Over the top goes Murphy. Ducker back in, and that's another bounce.
Desperation stuff. What magnificent football.
Tanner, he's the area of concern on the red leg bench. Came off this quarter. Magnificent smother. McDermott has another chance. A big kick out of defence. McIntosh at the back. Hall there to help him out. Keeps it in play. Just McIntosh, but over the top was Stringer. A free kick could go. Marshall was. And a free kick goes to McIntosh just ahead of centre wing. The Glenelg supporters not impressed. McIntosh infield. Justin Scanlon down deep. Time running out in this third quarter. A high ball knocked away from Maynard. Goes to McDermott. Smothered by Balme. Clavey fumbles. Gets it out the back. Payne now towards goal and has missed. Norwood trail by 10 points at the 30-minute mark.
The pace of Payne around the corner as Carey finds James West.
There could be a couple of minutes left in this quarter as they lost time when Connolly was taken off and there'd been 9 goals kicked. So a chance for the Redlegs to close the gap even further. But there goes Winton driving the Bays forward by hand. Now it's out of play. Well, they quickly took the ball from full back up towards right half forward. And the crowd on the edge of their seats. It should be a great last quarter. If it's anything like the third. Scanlon got it away. Grenville on all fours. Aisha's there. Got it out to Richardson. Back it goes to Fosdyke, and they work it clear towards Balme on the wing. Murphy behind. Murphy with the recovery. Well done out to McDermott. Back it goes to the big fellow Carey. And in towards half forward. Hall in front. The spoilers are there. McIntosh. Loose ball. First to it though, McNeil. Goes to McIntosh. Does well. Got the kick away. Now the chance for Rowe. Marshall slowing it down. He goes out wide. Going downfield, there are 2 of them. Rodney Maynard, well taken. He had Hellier there as well. Now he too far out to score. Oh, brilliant smother again by Salisbury. Murdoch, all the defenders are there for the Redlegs. In attack. Goes down towards the high flyer in Balme, out towards the boundary line. Hall's there. Across the line. 3/4 time, so that late surge has been foiled. What a quarter of football. The Bays lead by 10 points, 9-13 to 8-9.
6 goals to 3 by Glenelg in the third term, see them lead by 10 points. Starting the final term of this preliminary final at Football Park. Fosdyke, the quick kick forward. Grenville's got the run of it, well trapped. Nicely to Murphy. He's been a big defender all day. A high kick to the half-forward area going to space. Back goes Alan Stringer's played well at centre half-forward since half-time. His kick goes through half-forward. Hall up there, recovering well. Throws the ball out. It's allowed to go. And the umpire finally in for a bounce in the right forward pocket for Glenelg.
The early minutes of the final quarter, absolutely essential for both sides.
Ruck work being done by Hall. Slips it over the top. Marshall goes into the space behind half forward. Donovan up in the forward area. Trying to work through Murdoch. Did it well, but Hellier slips at the crucial moment. Oh, Donovan put Murdoch to the car with the loose one with Winton. And he's gone. Well, luck is a fortune. Winton gets his first. And that's a steadier for Glenelg, a 16-point lead.
The pressure was on. Murdoch attempting. Hellier, the smother. Maynard out to Winton. Pace and balance through the forward line into the square. Great goal, Jeffrey Winton.
A ticket to the grand final is resting on the result of this match. The winner to play North Adelaide. At the moment, it's the Bays with the advantage. 16 points. Carey drives them forward again. Hall being held. And Tony Hall with a free kick within scoring distance. Just about on the edge, but he'd be 50 metres out. It's a good kick of the football. He's kicked 2. Perhaps not quite the distance. The red leg defenders desperate, waiting for it. Was big John Hall. There will be a bounce almost in the goal square. Tigers into attack, leading 73 to 57. Seabohm and Hellier, the 31 and 16 respectively. Loose ball, Kidney brought down, penalised, holding the ball. Good tackle applied by Scanlon. Off by hand, McIntosh. The man who polled more votes than anyone else in the Magarey medal this year, Ross. Backward of centre-half back. Sends it out towards McNeil on the wing. Donovan goes up for Glenelg, got 2 grabs. Goes down, pushed in the back, or being held he was. Donovan with a free kick. Now to drive the base forward. They've started this last quarter better than Norwood. He goes in short, looking for Hall again. Off hands at the back. No one can pick it up. Maynard tries to push it out. It goes out to Rodney Maynard, and now Ace, who runs it through the centre of the ground. Got to be quick. Winton gets him. Alan Stringer intercepting. Still the chance for the Redlegs. This is Clavey. Got the hand pass off nicely to McNeil. He's at right half forward with pace. Goes in towards Rowe. Yes! 2 bites at the cherry, and he took it.
McNeil's pace again, the chance to set up the movement. Salisbury caught under the ball, went back with one hand, the ball just over the top. And Stephen Rowe, who lifted the Redlegs in the 3rd quarter, has done it again.
He's kicked 1 goal in each quarter so far. He needs one in the last now to give the Redlegs a run again. So 4 goals to Rowe. The margin back to 10 points. What the preliminary final we've got for 87.
The ability to run and power through half forward's been his great attribute. Despite Jeff Winton's desperate attempts to keep the ball trapped across half back, the Redlegs burst through with the pace of McNeil.
And Norwood wanting to lift the work in the centre area. Oh, the player getting hand the ball, it goes Norwood's way, but the bounce is out to Hewitt, who couldn't control it. Clavey gets in there, trying to force forward. They've gained a few metres. It's almost to the front white line of the square.
Big John Hall has had a big influence on the game as the Bay trainers go to work on David Kernahan.
He left the ground in the 3rd term. Maynard lifting this final quarter. Murphy sending it wide to half forward. Maynard versus Hall. Clever play, Hall bad luck, but got it clear. Alan Stringer elusive, trying to work, gets it to Donovan. Not quite, but it stays inside. Ross working to the line, and a throw in inside half forward for Glenelg.
Stringer's done well at centre half forward, added a lot of strength and power and poise.
The wind threatening to turn as it's gone across the ground now in this final turn. Scanlon against the tide. Wayne Stringer backs the judgment. It pays off. Drives through half forward, puts it high and wide. Seabohm's there. So too Hellier the spoil. Woodlands. Seabohm back for Woodlands. Murdoch needs to get over. Seabohm infield. Got him, Hewitt.
Good ball control, Glenelg. Woodlands set himself in front of the pack. The pressure from Hellier was great. Now set up for Mark Hewitt.
45-degree angle, about a 40-metre kick. He has one. Kicked into the third term. It's a high one. It looks online. Another steadying goal for Glenelg. They regain a 16-point lead at the 6-minute mark.
Woodlands burst through, could not get the ball to Seabone cleanly. Woodlands' pace and endeavour. Back to Seabone, setting up the pass. And the player who's perhaps been a surprise in the second half of the season in Mark Hewitt has kicked well.
Rain starting to fall at Football Park. Crowd's been pretty lucky throughout, but now at the 7-minute mark of the last term, it's starting to drizzle. The Bays forward again, Woodlands. Oh, this looks like the run they got on in the third quarter before Norwood came back. McDermott. Hewitt, who just kicked a goal, had a part in those early goals by the Bays in the third term. McDermott goes long. Seabone in front. Knocked off hands. Murdoch. Waiting back there is Hewitt again. Knocks it away from Fosdyke. Close to the boundary. Seabone over the top. Grabbed by Murdoch again. And umpire Thorpe decides to bounce it. Yes, the brolly's up, but still the short sleeves. Warm, humid conditions here at Football Park. Even warmer out there in the middle. Hall, both the Halls in fact. The Norwood man got it down. Scanlon, out to Rodney Maynard. Now Rowe, out to Fosdyke. 4 possessions and they work it clear. Murphy's underneath it for the Bays. Been a good performance by Murphy today. Indeed, right throughout the finals. Another good mark on centre wing. The ball's sent down the direction of McDermott. Stringer saying he was pushed, but it's across the line for a boundary throw in.
Michael Murphy, best for Glenelg in a great preliminary final, holding fourth at centre-half back.
Hall front spot, working hard. Maynard, he's lifted since half-time. And another stalemate. Close quarters. Winds swirling across the ground. Rain starting to fall. Could it be that luck has vacated Norwood? Ross across to McIntosh. In trouble, kept it in play well. Lester Ross again. It's a high ball centre wing. Maynard one hand at the back. Salisbury working through. He has to be penalised, but play on it goes. Payne. Wayne Stringer taps it forward. Marshall feeds Murphy. Clever reflex football. Out comes Seabone. Infield he goes. Donovan fluffs it. McDermott. Marshall down the corridor. Could be it. It could be Curtin's Norwood. Marshall's first goal. But it's a 22-point lead to Glenelg at the 9-minute mark.
Well, they worked hard, the Bays. Covered the ball well. McDermott off to the running Marshall. There's no better kick in the game than Marshall online spearing another goal.
So the Bays doing well, and just to give them further bite, Ross Gibbs has gone down to the forward line. He's just come on. Hall got it down for Norwood. Through goes Carey, though. Another chance. A big opening now for Woodlands. He's only 35 out. Over the top. Another one. Oh, shut the gate. Woodlands has got 3. And at the 10-minute mark of the last quarter, it's the Bays out by 28 points.
Carey the tap on. The chance for Woodlands. Space. Had an opportunity for McDermott. Decided to kick. What accuracy. And the Tigers are light.
Rowan Hellier off and Tanner back on. Tanner was injured in the third term. Well smothered Marshall. Donovan gets it out. Clavey fumbles, so too does Tanner. In goes Murphy. What a game he's played. Richardson left it behind. McDermott to Murphy. Murphy looking for in the pocket. Gibbs, who's fresh onto the ground. He's well collared, but got it over for Seabone. To the goal square. Another goal. Oh, a magnificent kick from Seabone. Number 4, Barnes not impressed at all. And Norwood trailed by
It's a miracle shot. Did not look. Had a feeling the goals were there. Woodlands watched it go through, and the Bays are wrapping it up.
They can do no wrong. The margin now, a most impressive, dare one say conclusive, 34 points to Glenelg. McIntosh forever trying. Tanner on one leg, couldn't take it. Marshall finds the boundary line. And as we approach the 12-minute mark, Graham Cornes perhaps starting to make plans for next Saturday. Smile on the face of Rex Lay. Carey got one nudge in the back, but Warhurst breaks away. Clavey, now Richardson's kick. Going back there with the flight, Hewitt. Fosdyke with him. Hewitt couldn't pick it up. He was taken out of the contest by McNeil. A good knock-on, a brilliant knock-on by Cruz. The ball kicked long, up by Rodney Maynard.
And Fosdyke is definitely injured on centre wing, and Norwood have run out of players.
Mark Balme sent it up towards Payne. They're still trying, Norwood, as we would expect them to, but those red legs are looking like tired legs. He goes around, big Carey. He should have too much pace for the big fellow, but he fumbles the bounce. Now Tanner had to be quick. In towards Ducker at full forward. Hall is behind the pack. Waiting down his ace. He twisted and turned. Found Clavey. He goes out wide. Oh, too wide for Richardson. Finds only Hewitt. Hits the boundary umpire, if you don't mind. Maybe he was feeling out of it. He can throw it in now.
The luck of the game favours the Bays.
13-minute mark this final term. Hall's tap away. Trying to bar through as Salisbury goes to ground. He's got himself a free kick. Scott Salisbury, the centre wing. Winton alone. Norwood's defensive action found wanting at the minute. High, long kick from Winton, clears half forward. At the back, Maynard, and over the top he went. Hall, Alan Stringer, and finally Murdoch.
Well, what a move that was, Stringer to centre half forward. Not a lot of touches, but a big influence as Coach Cornes tells his runner what the secret instructions are.
Marshall, Alan Stringer, another bounce at half forward. Still getting the message through. Must have been a long one. Hall, Balme getting hand to ball. Rodney Maynard on the bottom of the pack. Hewitt applied a high tackle, and it will be a free kick to Rodney Maynard. Run seems to have gone out of the red leg side. Fosdyke to Rowe. Tanner carrying an injury. Comes across field. Richardson through half forward. In trouble. Got it off. Salisbury got the boot to ball. Out it goes to Hewitt. And Glenelg on the run again. Up to the half forward area. Alan Stringer helps it on its way. Hall trying to work through. And a throw in now inside half forward.
And Scott Salisbury, perhaps a lucky inclusion in the side, has fought himself back into form and ready for the big one next week.
Inside half forward for Glenelg. McDermott up late. Murdoch couldn't get through. Comes back in over the top, left the ball behind. And now it's a bounce. Still at half forward for Glenelg. Glenelg supporters quite happy with the current situation. Balme down to Murdoch. Throws it out loose. Marshall taps it into his own part. Trying to work through. McIntosh covered him. Free kick paid against Rodney Maynard. And in the right forward pocket, it'll be Peter Maynard to take the kick from a very acute angle.
Another player who's lifted, both he and McDermott out in form or touch, worked hard in the second half.
Peter Maynard, goalless at this stage. Very acute angle, not the better side for a right foot disposal. And it looks pretty good. Magic, in fact. And it's all going right for Glenelg.
worked hard. Marshall covered it at the back, forced it forward. Maynard was over the top. And the perfect kick from the boundary and a big grin.
Yeah, they're kicking them from everywhere, the Bays. 103 plays 63. Ruckman to it again, Carey. Aish couldn't take it. McDermott. Grenvold got it out. Winton further on. They go forward again. Donovan long. That could almost have the carry. Not quite. Brendan Maynard. Ross there to support him. It was close to the line. Still in play, though. Now Murdoch. Infield he goes. Oh, the fumble from Scanlon. He was being held. Justin Scanlon picks up a free, almost at centre-half back.
Ross Gibbs trailing.
Goes in short, finds Murdoch. Got his hands full today. Warhurst. Oh, a great smother again. Luckily, though, it spills out to Balme. Now McIntosh. He says, go out of the way. Going long. And while he was doing that, a brilliant tackle applied again. Oh, what a beauty as McDermott sends it forward. Maynard. Top tackle by Winton. He really is outstanding in that department of the game. Now Gibbs right in the forward pocket.
A number of times in this quarter, Winton has been the player who's applied the pressure.
Ross Gibbs spent most of the time on the interchange bench, looks for a goal and finds one. They are bolting. Still no smile from the coach, but I'm sure he will later.
And Winton trapping McIntosh on his blind side. McDermott fired the ball wide. Maynard stood his ground, set it up for Roscoe Gibbs, and a preciser kick as you'll ever see.
And by that stage, it was all over. A magic second half by the Tigers, kicking 13 goals to 4 and winning by 46 points. For Glenelg, Seabohm kicked 4 goals, Woodlands 3, and for Norwood, Rowe kicked 4 goals and Ducker 3. So the Tigers into another grand final and with a chance to make it a hat-trick of premiership. Let's now hear from their coach, Graham Cornes, who's speaking with Jerry.
Smiling Graham Cornes, and well done. 3 times now in a row for a grand final after a tremendous last half today.
Well, it was a good last half, and as I said, Norwood, to their credit, were very competitive early, and it took us a while to shake them free, but once we got our free-flowing game moving, and once we started using the ball properly, it made the game a little bit easier.
It looked to be a good toss to win, yet you were down 18 points at the first change, and it took you until the 9.5-minute mark of the third quarter to get in front.
Well, the weather forecast suggested it was a good toss to win because it was going to turn around, but that happened once to us in a preliminary final with Norwood once before, where we kicked the win for 3 quarters. It would be too much to expect it to happen again. But strange enough, both teams scored well into the breeze in the first half.
Well, it was 1981, and I think the breeze did give you a little bit of favour in the last quarter, but nevertheless, it was your back play that kept you in the play up in the first half.
Our defensive players all year have been superb. There's no doubt about that. I think there was only one other team that had less points kicked against it than we did, and they've just gone on with it. They really have been tight, united.
How difficult, Graham, was it for you to bring the team out of a roll from games 9 to 14 when they're really travelling on a high for a letdown, and then to get them back up as you have now?
Well, you know, we were played very well in those games, as you know, and you can only play each game as they come, and people start saying, well, they've peaked too early, you've got them up too early, and you can only prepare a team for each game as it comes. And whilst we lost games after that, we were never really we never lost games, we were never thrashed. We were always in it, and there was reasons, I guess, that we did, and all you can do is persevere with your overall game plan, and try and establish the right balance. And obviously getting Alan Stringer back and Tony Hall back was a big plus as well. So, but it does get back to that week by week thing. If you can prepare every week, sorry, my son. If you can prepare every week as it comes and take every game as it comes, you win enough of them to get into a final series.
Well, good luck for 3 in a row next week. Thank you, Graham.
Thanks, Jerry.
No doubt about Chad Cornes, is there? He knows when the cameras are on him. Well, next week, of course, North and Glenelg for the 3rd year running, and Darryl, on today's form, those Bays are going to be hard to toss again.
Yes, they've got that ability to come back when it really counts. They were under pressure up until half-time. It wasn't a fantastic game. It's as good a prelim final as you'll see, and the finals hardened Glenelg's side stuck with their plan.
Amazing when you think about it. They were inaccurate in the first half. 3 goals 13 at one stage, but then they slipped into second gear. No worries.
Yes, they seemed to win the centre square. Carey and Alan Stringer going to centre half forward at half time was another coaching coup by Graham Cornes. Not the most, a lot of height with Alan Stringer, but he was aggressive. That attack at John Hall, full frontal, the biggest man on the field, and he took him down, and Glenelg kicked a goal.
Yeah, that was a beauty. The other tackle of the match, of course, occurred late in the game. We just saw it on the highlights there with Jeff Winton bringing McIntosh down. I don't think McIntosh knew he was coming.
No, blind side, real rugby league term or soccer term. Came from behind, out of Macca's vision, put him down. He did it also with Michael Aish too. But what must be noted is the run of the player and the inspiration to teammates. That's what club spirit is really built upon, and Jeff Winton's a really good club man.
And finally, one of the best players of the final series, I suppose, the drive they get from half-back, Michael Murphy.
Yes, the Irishman from the Riverland, superb. He's worked his way into that position of prominence at Glenelg over a period of years, was a forward, now a wonderful defender, and he was unbeaten today.
OK, well, the season has now come to an end for the Redlegs, so now let's hear from their coach, Neil Balme.
Neil, a disappointing end to 1987, but you got out of the blocks well in the first quarter today, even though you lost the toss.
Yeah, I thought we were pretty good early, and we missed a couple of easy goals, and we probably should have been more up, but then to get in that position and fall away was very disappointing. I think some of our guys just didn't stand up under pressure, made too many mistakes.
Well, the second term was perhaps where it was lost. Took you 23 minutes to get the one and only goal for the quarter with the breeze.
Yeah, I thought we'd probably forge ahead in that second quarter, but we just couldn't look like kicking a goal at all. And then after half-time, I thought we had the ball for a while and kicked it to them for the 3 or 4 times when we were going forward. And then they ran over the top of us, and then to our credit, we got back into it. But when the last quarter started, when the really tough footy had to be played, I think we, again, started making errors and just didn't stand up at all.
Well, perhaps it was the mistakes early in the third term when, in fact, your forward line had been pulled right down ground and you were kicking to the opposition.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. I don't think we were kicking well, but we probably weren't giving a lot of options either. It's a little hard to tell from the boundary, but we just weren't playing a cohesive footy at all.
You clambered off the floor, 30 points down there at one stage to get back by 10. Did you still think you had a chance at the last change?
Well, you always have, and it really just needed our blokes to really stand up and say, well, we want to have a go at this and we want to play next week. But the disappointing thing is that, you know, we didn't and they did. I thought they were very strong in their attack of the ball, and we were just a little bit soft, and only one team would get through, and Glenelg certainly deserved to today.
On reflection of 1987, you'd have to be pretty satisfied with your effort to get third.
Oh, you probably asked me that in a couple of weeks. I think once you set yourself for a preliminary final and you look at it man for man and reckon you've got a reasonable chance, and to capitulate the way we did is very disappointing and very hard to accept. But, you know, again, in a couple of weeks' time, we can look at it and see what we have achieved this year, and I guess in some ways we've achieved something, but very hard to see that at the moment.
Yes, well, bad luck. It's been a good season, and thanks for all your help during the year.
Thanks, Jerry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointing to get so close but so far, but really you think at the start of the season they'd lost Gallagher, Winter, also Roberts and Hine and Thomas, so gee, it's been a bit of a rebuilding year for them. Yes,
they've done very well. I don't know if you remember that Coach Neil Balme was very aggressive at the end of the finals last year. He felt he'd been let down. And then the players retired, and this year he's found the lights of McNeil, Rowe, Richardson, Claby, Sampson. Tanner's had his second season. The Maynard boys have done well in their second season. So I agree with Jerry, an old Norwood player. They've done well.
Nonetheless, he was pretty concerned about that second half fade out today.
Yes, it's interesting to know the impact that perhaps the flu and the hot weather had upon Norwood. They had injuries to Tanner, Fosdyke, and Connolly, of course. Stephen Connolly lasted on the ground 30 seconds.
And very briefly, next year they'll lose Kelly, so I guess they'll be looking for a key forward.
They'll lose Kelly.
Well, I understand. He's off to Collingwood.
Well, we'll see. Yes, they won't. Norwood never lose players easily. Norwood, not to be underestimated ever, a very strong club.
In case you've just joined us, repeating the final score in today's preliminary final, Glenelg far superior in the second half, winning by 46 points and earning a spot in the grand final. In the reserves, and an 11-point victory to Woodville after trailing Glenelg by 3 goals at half-time. So next Saturday, the grand finals, and we've got for the 3rd year in a row, North Adelaide against Glenelg, and in the reserves, it's the new chums of the competition, Central District and Woodville. So one of those teams will come away with the premiership, which is good for the competition. Well, Darryl, North Adelaide and Glenelg once again. Are we in for a repeat of the scenario we've had for the past 2 years?
Well, we'll see, won't we? There'll be some nervous North Adelaide players when they think about this year. The scribes, the experts will all come up with all those scenarios that you predict. Will they get the collywobbles? And it's important that they win this year, but it'll be tight.
Well, turn the clock back 12 months. Last year we thought North would have learnt a lot of lessons from 1985. Apparently they hadn't. Do you think they have now?
Well, they've changed the structure of their side with Roberts and Slattery and Trigg and players like that, Burton. They're tougher and they're more defensive. I think that's Coach Noonan takes some credit. He's worked on the defensive action of North Adelaide, and I think they're a better side, and he as a coach is a better coach. He has a contingency plan now if things go wrong. What
about Glenelg? Are they as good as they have been?
I don't think they're quite as good as they were in the last 2 years. It's a bit hard to know. They've worked miracles too with the likes of James West and players like that who are young, inexperienced, but it will be a ripper.
Yes, it certainly will. We're now just 6 days away from the very reason the game's played. That's the grand final. And we'll be bringing it to you and, in fact, right throughout Australia, live on ABC television starting at 2 o'clock. I look forward to your company then. Good night.
Towards half forward. Up high was West, and also there was Maynard. Play on the call from umpire Kinnear. Maynard thought he had it. He gave it out wide to Scanlon. High. Knocked away by West. Ducker. Oh, he didn't knock it away. Good mark, Ducker. The fist came in from the defender, but in front, young Mark Ducker did it well.
Ross Gibbs trying to give the lead. Tony Hall over the top. The beautiful grab.
Brilliant mark, Tony Hall. He's doing his utmost, working way down in defence to get kicks. Inside half forward. Hall gets up high. Great mark, Tony Hall. Got the ride nicely over the top of Scanlon and a good, strong grip of the ball. McIntosh chipping up, looking for Rowe. Grenvold in position. And it might get a 15-metre penalty for that lot. And Grenvold taken up to half-forward left. Wyndham the kick, and Glenelg forward once more. Back there, Scanlon on! Scanlon's front, Rowe's front man. Scanlon it is, but it's Maynard's mark.
Dropping back, held position well, read it first. And what a game.
Ball beginning to bounce for Glenelg. McDermott playing a boomer quarter. Drives deep, Kidney sets. Scanlon spoiled to mark to Kidney.
Stood his ground courageously.
Yeah, but I think he'd be pretty happy with the way things have gone in the last 10 minutes. Murphy! Oh, this game has come alive. Or at least the bays have come alive.
Drives long, direct to the square. Hellier and Seaman!